March the 2nd. There's a helicopter out there. Fitting. For a while I thought I would come on here tonight to engage in a "what are we doing" rant. I was under the impact of the pictures out of Moscow where hundreds had gathered, risking their lives to pay their last respects to Navalny. And I was 13 again, confronting the regime despite the danger. I don't really understand, after what the Supreme Court now did and everything, that the streets are not yet occupied. Now that the autocrat is not yet in power and we are not risking our lives yet. People out there not giving speeches but debating. That's democracy. Conversation, debate, the only time we are conscious for longer than 7 seconds. But no one is listening. And the debate thing is tricky anyway, so back to the drawing board I went, and I decided to explain in some more detail how we ship out on the example of metaphors. Imagine your friend from abroad, not a native English speaker, comes to your place dissolved in tears. You will serve her coffee, tea or something more potent, and after a while you will ask, "What's the matter?" Your friend will tell you she thinks her boyfriend is breaking up with her. You're confused. She thinks, but she doesn't know? How? Turns out her boyfriend, wrote something about their relationship having reached a dead-end street. A relationship reaching a dead-end street is a metaphor, a very complex one at that. In a metaphor, you map a situation to a concept or to several. In this example, love is a journey, the lovers are travelers, the relationship is a vehicle, the lover's destination is a common life goal, and difficulties are impediments. Basically, we create a picture from basic building blocks to create reality. If you ever ask yourself what the data is in the equation consciousness equals perception plus data, here you go. How do we create the building blocks? Let's take the example of affection is warmth. That's a metaphor, a very basic one. When our caregivers hold us by picking us up and show us affection, we feel their body heat. Temperature and affection are computed in different areas of the brain. In both areas, the neurons are firing simultaneously. Neurons that fire together wire together. When this happens repeatedly, and consider how often parents lift their children up to feed them and to change diapers and so on, a neural circuit is established. They are wired together. In the beginning, it will include only several hundred of neurons, but each of those is again connected to thousands of other neurons, and every time the original circuit is activated, some of those connected neurons will fire as well. That's what we call learning. In this case, baby us has learned that affection is warmth, a primary because embodied metaphor. We have tens of thousands of those in our brain to work with. Primary metaphors in our example are that action is motion and purpose is destination. Woven together, we get purposeful action is motion toward a destination. Our brain connects this with another tool to shape thought called frame. Every word in every language is defined relative to some frame. I say hospital, you think immediately doctor, nurses, patient, surgery, and so on. That's a frame, a tool to structure the word which is activated as soon as one aspect of a frame is mentioned. So, I say doctor, you say surgery, or hospital, or whatever. The frame is activated. Also, I say I'm not a witch, and the witch frame is activated, and you will see me as a witch. What's not completely wrong, but you get it. Even if you say negated, the frame is activated. In our example, the frame that's activated when we bring up action and purpose is life. Life is a sequence of actions performed over time. But there's something else added in Western cultures. According to cultural norms, life has to have a purpose. So we need to specify. Life is a sequence of purposeful actions performed over time, while we regard time as a path. So we end up with a life journey. After adding several more primary metaphors, frames, and cultural norms activated in a cascade in our brain, we end up with the idea that a long-term love relationship is a means for achieving common life goals. Any difficulties in such a relationship are a reaction to some impediment to reaching compatible destinations. And so, yes, a relationship in a dead-end road means that the travelers will not get where they want to go in the current vehicle. They will have to leave the relationship to move on. Metaphors are our natural mode of thought. Facts we encounter that we cannot break down to primary metaphors mean nothing to us. We can't compute them and they will never reach our conscious mind. At the same time, all this happens in our head all the time. We have building blocks in there that tell us, for example, out of the blue, that we are better off listening to our parents, what means we believe that it is our moral duty to be obedient. Unconsciously, this is in our mind when we think of the Supreme Court, for example. As wrong as the Supreme Court might be and as much telling off that it would need, we think we have to be obedient. We aren't aware of it unless we think and realize where our action comes from and create new circuits by thinking. Make a habit out of thinking, turn thinking into a movement so that our autopilot does not steer us off the next cliff. Like, comment, share, and as always, thank you for gifting me with a few minutes of your most precious, your lifetime.